our show, Boundless, a shade of diversity, where we shed light to the things that are happening around us. We'd like to welcome you. We are sorry today we came a bit late, but we're glad that you've tuned in. Today we will be discussing about marriage. Yes, we are back with marriage once more. To the young couples, the old, everyone who is married, if you're planning to get married, this is the right place to be with, to be in. We are going to do a follow-up from where we stopped last time. I'm your host, Victoria Sangaire. I'm humbled to have our guest, our mom, our mentor, Reverend Sue. Karibu sana mchungaji.
Thank you very much. I am delighted to be here this evening.
Yes.
To continue with a very, very important topic on marriage. Because this institution continues forever.
Yes.
It was from the beginning and it will be.
Yes.
Yes.
We are so happy to have you here at Boundless, and we bless the Lord for always serving you here.
Thank you.
Today we will just continue from where we stopped up. We want to look at the hiccups that can come in marriage, the things that can make a marriage not last. I remember the last time you were talking about the CCE, the communication, commitment, and the emotional stability. Today I would like you to walk us through. What if my person is not committed? What if my person is not communicating? What should I do?
Just like we discussed from the beginning, we said there are some ingredients to make this marriage work.
Yes.
And we said that you have to understand your partner. And we put on the CCE, that you need to commit yourself to this marriage.
Yes.
You need to communicate. And then you have to do the emotional stability.
Yes.
In this emotional stability, it is where you understand or you learn where you can touch the other person without hurting.
Yes.
And therefore, in most cases, people need to understand how you can work together in marriage without hurting one another. Because there are some areas that you need to look at in marriage so that this marriage can be stable. And one of the factors that I consider is the issue of the company. You know, company is very, very important.
Yes.
There are many companies that you need to look at. When you get married, it means you have moved from the company of the young people that you have been working with, of these people who are not committed to family issues. And now you are entering to a family where you commit yourself to another individual, meaning that the company is now between the two of you. And now for the growth of this company, you have to eliminate some of the other companies, other groups that you have been working with. Maybe you have been good in working with a team of these single young men. When you come now in this company, you need to stick to the company of the married people. Maybe the young at your age, maybe those in their middle age, so that you can be able to learn more about marriage. If you don't learn and you stick to the company of the young people, maybe people may not even may fail to understand you. Before we need to see you leaving that company. Some of these companies, you know, they are not very good. They either influence your marriage negatively or positively. And I think the best thing is when you move with a company, with a good company, as you lay the foundation for the marriage. So when you move with a good company, you progress. But when you move with a bad company, the tendency is that they will be pulling you back, pulling you back. I can remember I had an incident of young people discussing. And they discussed how their fellow young men and married a lady. And they described this lady in a way that was not very good. And I would ask them, now you are discussing about this fellow friend of yours, the wife, and I ask them, you are discussing them and you are degrading the type of partner that this person has gotten for marriage. And they are not married, imagine. What about if this person hears what they are talking?
Sure.
You know, you'll be prone to go on that side.
On the other side, yeah.
Therefore, I say as a person who is experienced in marriage for more than 29 years, I believe the best thing is when you work with a company or people who will be pulling you towards the growth in marriage.
And then I would wonder, talking about the company that you have, at times it becomes so hard to separate with the people you began with this work before you got married. How would you advise someone? Atajitenganishaje?
You know, there's some habit that you need to leave behind. You can't continue living the way you are living when you are a young boy or a young lady. There are some things that you need to leave behind, some habits, some manners. And now when you come to marriage, these band companies, you have to leave behind. Maybe sometimes, will you be leaving your wife now in the house and you walk with this young man?
No.
Will you be leaving your wife, your husband in the house, then you work with this young girls?
No.
You have to stick to the company. And one of the worst things that I fear is when you follow the company or people who are not influencing you towards growth. And I always call it in band company. Be aware of band company. As you strive to build your marriage, be aware of bad company.
Yeah. The Bible says bad company corrupt
Good morals.
So it is the same even in marriage.
It's true.
And in the next C, we communicated about communication.
Yes.
What is the importance or what is the fire that comes along with communication?
You know, communication is a two-way traffic. It is you give and I take.
Yes.
Giving and taking back. And in the book of Amos, it says, how can two walk together?
Unless they agree.
Unless they agree.
Yes.
You know, for you to communicate, there must be agreement. Because communication involves many things. It involves verbal, the way you utter things. It is also non-verbal communication. And I always tell couples, you can form your own language that you can talk. And people may not understand what you are saying. When you're in the crowd, maybe you can tell your husband you don't want something. You don't need to say that I don't want this something. You can form it in another language that he can understand. Either you can look at him in the eyes, you can knock something, and he knows that you don't need to communicate in that way. You don't need to shout at one another. You need to talk politely. Understand the language of your partner. It's very important.
There's the language of love.
Yes.
In every couple, we must come up with our own language.
Yes.
We must formulate it.
Yes.
From the beginning.
And the best communication is when you are able to get the feedback. When I'm happy, when I'm hurt, when I'm emotionally down, when I'm those are some of the things that we need to understand as young couples. Even as we continue building this relationship, we understand one another. And it doesn't mean that one of you should talk while the other one is keeping quiet. It means you have to open up one another. And then you talk.
And that makes marriage work. And
it works.
And it makes life easier for you.
Yes, and then you don't forget also there is this element that you talked about. The element of now how you can mismanage finances. You are now thinking of those some negative things that can affect marriage. The way you manage your resources is very important. And one of the resources is like the finances. However little that you have, there's need for you to learn how to save whatever you get. And when you learn how to save, it becomes an important ingredient for you to build the marriage. But when you become reckless, overspending whatever you have without even budgeting, I want to assume that when you get an average, you have some money that you get as a couple.
Yeah.
It's always good to think of how you can invest. Kidogo too. Don't need to invest all of it. Maybe you have 5,000 shillings. You can say that you are going to spend 3,000 shillings, and then we keep 2,000 shillings. But the problem is that when you see somebody who wants to spend, you spend everything. It becomes very bad because we call it financial mismanagement. And they affect the marriage very badly.
Very badly. You know, when you talk about finances, it has been a hard nut, especially to the young couples and the people who are new in marriage. Because I can imagine the women, tunasema, changu ni changu, chako ni chetu. That is what we say. So you find the ladies keeping the money to herself, but she also wants to spend the money on the husband. In a way, it is so strenuous. So how can you advise the young couples financially?
Keeping is not bad. can keep your money, but let you have a central pool.
Okay.
Maybe you give 500 and give 500 and you
Okay.
put it together.
Okay.
When people get married, it doesn't mean that you have to be the financial authority over the other individual. You know, some women, they have some other things they do.
Yes.
Like this, the women group. There are some other things they do, that, like the merry-go-round.
Yes.
And I remember when I was growing up, my mother would tell me, you have to keep some money under the bureau for a panando. You know panando, all of this, panando.
Painkillers.
Maybe sometimes you are sick, the baby is sick, and you want to rush to the shop to buy the medicine. Will you now start calling your people to send you money for the medicine?
No.
So when you keep, it doesn't mean that you are handing money. You know, you keep, but you can agree as a couple to be putting somewhere some money. Maybe at the end of every month, each one of you can put something in either an account that you have opened together, a joint account. Not when you put money in the joint account, it doesn't mean that you have no authority over your money that you get.
Yes.
Let each one. I always believe that even if you have your own account, and I have my own account, we can also have an agreement that we can have a joint account. Where each one of us is putting some money somewhere, and you can be a signatory of this account. The only problem is when one of the partner becomes very careless in spending money, it affects the marriage. Some people are not even accountable of what they get. Some people live in debt, and this one can also make the marriage strain a lot. There are people who keep on borrowing. They are on loan. Every now and they are paying money. They are in debt in the kiosk, in the mama mboga. They have debt. At the butchery they have debt. Everywhere they have debt. This debt can strain the marriage from the early beginning. So the best thing is for you to be balanced, whatever you do. The money, there is no big money and the small money. You can save from the little. Even if it is 100 shillings, you can spend 8 and you save 20. Yes. And also, I also believe another factor that you can also come in, which can make the marriage, the hiccups in marriage. I normally call it the hiccup in marriage. Is the issue of now, when people are living together, and they are not able to leave some of the addictions, some addictions. Maybe you are marrying a young man here who is very good in football. And when he comes in the house, he doesn't think of anything else apart from football. You see him putting the feet on top of the table. You see him doing many things. So this becomes a problem. So there are some addictions. Even the shopping. Some ladies are very good in shopping. All whenever you see. Yes, it becomes a problem in marriage. You need to know how to balance, when to buy, when to save.
Wow. Thank you so much, our viewers. We're going for a short break. Don't leave Boundless. See you after the break.
Amen.
Welcome back, our viewers. For those who are joining us, we are walking through the journey of marriage. Before we went for the break, we were talking about the addictions that one can carry into marriage, and that is what we will walk right into. Mchungaji, before we went, you were telling us there are some addictions that I can come into the marriage. Kindly, can you take us through?
You know, when people talk about addiction, they only think about alcoholism,
Sexuality.
sexuality,
Yes.
But there are other things that you can be addicted to. You can then be addicted in clothes, the clothes that you wear. You can be addicted in watching football or the TV. You can be addicted in having this phone, the smartphone.
Yes.
So that when you go to bed, you're not doing anything else. You're on
With
your
phone.
phone. On your phone, doing many things. There are some things that you have to leave behind when you get married. Maybe some of these things like the shopping. There are some ladies who love growth.
Yes.
Every now and then you see them with a new clothes, the new shoe, the new handbag. They want everything. They want to grab everything. But there must be a balance when you come to marriage.
Yes.
That you don't need to have the new dress every week. You don't need to have a new dress, a new shoe every month. You don't need to have a new handbag every month. You balance life now. Because the more you get addicted, the more you strain your marriage.
Sure.
Maybe your husband doesn't have that money to support you.
Yes.
Maybe even you are not even having a lot of money to buy these clothes. And you find yourself having too many clothes in your wardrobe. And you are not using them. Too many shoes and you are not using them. So the best thing is to balance these addictions. Maybe you like football. There must be time for football. And there must be time for marriage. For the family.
Yes.
If you love eating, even eating can be addiction. There's some people who want to eat without a break. But when it comes to the issue of marriage, you have to balance. How much do I eat? And what time do I eat? Because sometimes if you want to eat, you find yourself, you are cooking everything in the house. And you are left with nothing. And you are a small family. I remember one person that was complaining that he is not getting enough food during breakfast.
Wow.
And you know breakfast is when you eat, you don't eat a lot of food.
Yeah.
But you wanted ugali, you wanted chicken, you wanted these burgers, you wanted another early in the morning. And you need to balance. Ugali is not bad, that is not bad.
Yeah.
But when you do it, you're not affecting your budget. Let it be so. There's some people who also addicted of going outings. This outing. Like nowadays, they are commonly known as the
road trips.
The road trips.
Yes.
Maybe when you are single, you are very good in road trips. But here you are a married person. Would you continue in the road trips?
No.
Yeah, road trips can be there.
Yes.
But do it with your wife.
Okay.
Do it with your children.
Okay.
Let them enjoy the road trip.
Okay.
Walk, ride even with your wife. Walk even with your children. And it is very enjoyable when you walk together. And when you travel together. You don't even need to buy. You have your own car. You can even rent. You can even walk. And you can plan. There are many options nowadays. You don't need to stick to one thing so that you can make your marriage happy. These are some of the factors. And I remember we also talked about the issue of time.
Yes.
Time is also very, very important when it comes to marriage. Time management. But you find most of the couples, they don't know what to do this, what to do that. There must be time for giving birth. There must be time for rearing these children. There must be time for educating these children. But surprisingly, you may find some people who are having children all throughout their life.
From the day they got married.
Find some have phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of children. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 of children. There must be time for everything. Time even for building the house. Yes. Time for living in a rented house. Yes. And time for moving. Even if it is in your own, even if it is your Mavati house, yes. Even if it is in a man's house, yes. Your house, you move from the rented premises to your own house. Yes. And it is good to train these women to accept their houses. Because it becomes a problem that you want to live in a very, very expensive house.
A rented one.
But time is going. You need to pay money for school. Yes. You need to feed these children. You need to clothe them. But you want to stay in a rented house. How can you do that? Exactly. Then it becomes a strain in marriage. And this is a problem now you are finding most of the couples. You hear people, they have killed one another. You hear they have slaughtered one another. You hear they are doing this. Some of these small things, the root cause must be somewhere. You don't know where. You don't. The timings. Timing is very, very important. For you to harvest, you need to follow the pattern, the good pattern, the season. Yes. You know when to plant, when to wind, and when to harvest. Yes.
Ah, that is very nice.
Yes.
And about the emotional stability.
Emotional stability is good.
And
And
is
it
needed.
seems you like that one.
I love
Emotional
that.
stability.
Emotional stability.
Emotional stability is it will deal with our physique, it will deal with your psychological, it will deal with your emotions. And you see, sometimes it is very funny because you have been brought up in a family, a different family from your spouse. You don't know where you can touch and hurt him or her.
Yes.
So for you to live together in that peace and harmony, understand how your husband or your partner works, operates. Which is this part that when I touch him, he is happy? Which is this part in his life that when what are these ones that when I speak to him, they motivate him or motivate her? Most of the times you don't know these areas.
Yeah.
And sometimes you see people strain because we shout to them, we quarrel instead of talking. And sometimes we bring them up, or we talk, or we handle them like we are handling our small brothers and our sisters,
Yes.
forgetting that they are our partners whom we need to work together. And when you are talking about emotional stability, there's some people who are very good in it. They can easily cry.
I know.
While
Can break down.
others are stone, even if you do something, they don't care. What do you see? But there's some people that even a small, even the one is enough to kill them. And I remember one day, there's some things that you talk even when you are a couple, and then you wonder what is making the other person to feel hurt, and for you don't find any problem. That is the main problem. You need to understand where to touch your partner.
I need to know the key.
The key
to his heart.
Yes.
And you know the key to her heart.
It's true.
And you know, in the Bible we are told, a wise woman builds her house with her own hands. But again, I met someone and told me, Biblia inafinilia wa mama. Na kama mzee anabomoa mimi nitajenga aje.
You know, a woman is a very, very important person in the family. A woman is the one who owns things together. She's the one who, it's like the way you own the cement. Like that owns the sand, the ballast, and make something concrete.
Yes.
A woman is like that. She's the one who can hold many, many, many things.
The children.
A woman can feed a family of 10 plus children. And she doesn't have anything, any income. She can hide even when there's nothing in the house and give you a cup of tea.
Yes, so true. So true.
She can hide that there's nothing. Even when the husband doesn't have a shoe, he can borrow a shoe from the neighbor.
Yes.
For the husband to wear the shoe. He can borrow even the coat from the neighbor. For the husband to wear that. He can even borrow a lesson. And you not even understand that she has borrowed that lesson.
Yes.
So a woman is very, very important when it comes to the issue of marriage. Si kufinyiria. The Bible is very clear.
Yes.
When it talks about the prudent wife in the book of Proverbs.
Yes.
The wife who goes out and comes in with something.
Yes.
The wife who looks outside the field and finds there is a shamba that can be bought.
Yes.
So men who want to build up their families, don't leave behind your spouse. Don't leave behind your wife.
Yes.
Even if you think she's not educated like you are, even if you think she's not enlightened like you are, learn to work together with her. Women have something, they are intelligent. They know how to do things differently than men. Leave a man in the house, and when you come back, you'll be surprised. You find it the way it was.
Yes.
But leave a woman in the house. Even go and live somewhere for 2, you come home, you find a goat, it was not there.
Yes.
Find some chicken there. So longer you understand your wife and support her. You support your wife, you will become a rich man.
Wow.
You disappoint your woman, you leave a very poor person.
Yes.
And a very disorganized man. The men who have succeeded in life, they are the ones who learn how to support their wife. They are the ones who learn how to value their wife. And the women, now when you are valued also, learn to appreciate this man. Learn how to work with him. Don't demean him. Learn to work with him. Learn to appreciate and say, thank you, Baba so and so, because you have supported me to walk through. Yes.
And because today we are talking about the hiccups in marriage, at what point should I ask for help if my marriage has a lot of hiccups? Is it all the time that tumekosana kidogo, nimekimbia kwa mchungaji, ama at what point should I talk?
You know, unless there are these things I normally tell people that when you find that you are being abused physically, physical abuse, there is also there is the verbal abuse. There are some things that the husband can do in the darkness, and he assumes that nobody is watching. Maybe you are being tortured physically, beating, cutting. Those are funny things that we are seeing nowadays happen. There are some men who will even abuse their women in the public place.
Yes.
You go, you enter in a place that is working, in the marketplace that is selling those things. She's very busy, and then you start shouting to her, calling her names. When they come to that point, it's always good for a woman to seek help and talk, because it isn't good. If a man respects a wife, remember when you are shouting to her at the marketplace, you are degrading her in the presence of her fellow women. You make her feel insecure. And remember, when we talked from the beginning, we said the man is the security.
Yes, of the family.
The security of the family.
Yes.
Which include being the security for the wife, the security for the children.
Yes.
When now you come and shout to me, when you come and fight with me, when you come and abuse me, it is like you are leaving the door now open for anybody to come and attack. Maybe you are parents, maybe your brothers and the sisters. I become now a victim of the circumstances, because now you have opened the door for everybody to have to abuse me. The intelligent man is the one who knows how to secure, to lock, to work together, and even to mention the one love to the wife, no matter how she is. No matter how other people may talk about your spouse, your wife, and good husband will not go to the market to shout, to beat. In the presence of the children, it becomes very torturing. You come in the evening when you are drunk, and you shout. You come shouting to your children. You come shouting to your wife. When they hear your voice, they won't even to hide under the bed. How do you find that?
It is so embarrassing.
Likewise, it can also happen to the man.
To the man, yeah.
You know, you may talk about the woman, and we assume that
about the man, it is
about it is the man who is being the woman who is now who is being victimized. Yes. Men can also be victim of the circumstances. Yes, they can also be affected. There are some women who don't respect their husband. They talk the way they want. They handle them like small children.
Like babies.
Learn to respect your husband.
And you encourage men to talk. Unajua wanaume wanafichilianga huko ndani.
Let them talk.
Let them come and
the only problem is, when do you talk? And where do you talk?
Yeah.
And how do you talk? When, where, and how?
Yes.
And whom do I talk to?
Yes.
The problem is, you come in the sitting room and you shout.
Everyone.
And because I had another experience that I had the other days, when a man comes shouting and calling the wife and dog. And you wonder, and dog.
Domestic animal.
And dog that has given birth to your children, and dog that is feeding you, and dog that is cleaning for you. So sometimes these ones that we use as young couples or young couples, we need to be very careful.
Yes.
Let us strive to build one another in love, and speaking good things about one another, and accepting one another. Remember, we are not from the same family, but you can learn to live together and walk together by loving one another. And you know, I once learned somewhere that love covers a multitude of sins. You don't need to go telling people about the weakness of your spouse. Maybe you know the weakness of your husband, the weakness of your wife. You don't need to go shouting or sharing with every person about the weaknesses. Learn how you can build one another. That would be the best thing that you can do to build your husband, to build your wife, and the family will be the best place for you to live.
Wow, that is so nice. I am enjoying walking through the journey of marriage. Being a young couple myself, I am benefiting, and I know our viewers also are benefiting. Chungaji, what are your last remarks to our viewers at home?
The thing I would want want to put here as we talk about marriage, it is the issue of loving, committing, communicating, understanding one another, and building each other. Marriage is like the way you start building a house. There are many things that you put together so that the house can stand. So you need to start building from the early age. Even those who are married for 0. Maybe you are married for today, tomorrow. Those who are married for 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, they are building. You continue building. And you continue until Jesus Christ comes back. There is no place that you will stop and say, now my marriage is now complete. Because if it is complete, we won't be yelling about the Mr. The Nobel Peace Prizes for the best marriage in the world. Have you ever heard of the Nobel Peace Prize? No, we are all struggling to make our marriages work. And in this struggle, we can learn to accept one another. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping it boundless. And yes, we have learned that marriage is a foundation. So let us endeavor to lay this foundation. Each one of us, the viewers back at home, go work on your marriage, pray about it, and God is going to help us. Remember to like us at our Facebook page at PCA Kiserian Church, on YouTube at PCA Kiserian Church, and keep it at Boundless. Till next time, we love you. God bless you.